We are back on Reddit. We're at Where Are All the Good Men? And this is a great little sub if you have not checked it out before. And the title of this one is Divorced Billy for Chad. Now wants them good things back with Billy. And this is going to sum up a lot of the problems we see in the modern relationships and dating world. So here we go. Going through a second divorce only to realize, I wish I'd have made things work with my first husband. That ship has sailed, of course, but the nagging thought is there. I guess I didn't understand how good things were until I was made to feel like a hostage in my own home. Has anyone else effed up this bad? I wish I could turn back time. Now, a couple things here, and then I'm going to get to some of the comments on this post. This scenario happens a lot, and I will first and foremost give this lady credit. I will give her credit because she admittedly talked about that she messed up, that she effed up. And again, when a woman takes responsibility and she can self-reflect like that, I'm going to give her credit because, again, that's more of a rare quality that we don't find that typically in a lot of women today. So I'll give her credit where credit is due. But now let's talk about this idea, okay? I guess I didn't understand how good things were until I was made to feel like a hostage in my own home. So the idea that we have, and this is especially if any women are watching this, okay? The idea that a lot of us men have now, and the reason why I personally, warn men to not get married, is that in today's society, the idea that women can sleep around, date around, all that is, again, it's fine if that's what women want. Great. However, if women want that, what I think everyone needs to do is really take a look at hypergamy and really understand biology and understand that as women sleep around and date around and taste more out there, their expectations increasingly get higher because of hypergamy. Now, women have to understand that this is different in men and women, and this is why when men sleep around, it's not quite the same. Okay, so if we understand that point of view, the hypergamy, her standards always increase. Imagine this, all right? So this is when we say we tell guys, hey, modern women that have been sleeping around, don't commit to them, okay? Why? All right. If you are a girl and you grew up your entire life getting the best meals, let's just say that you were coming from a really wealthy family, you could go to a buffet every single night with the best food, and you could pick and choose the best of the best food every single night. You would build up a certain tolerance, a certain expectation about the food, the quality of food, the choices you have of what to eat every single night. Now imagine that all of a sudden, boom, you flip a switch and you have to eat spaghetti for the rest of your life. You can no longer choose from the best different foods, all of that variety. You're stuck with spaghetti. Now, a lot of people like spaghetti. I like spaghetti. Spaghetti is a fine meal. But you see how when you take spaghetti in comparison to what you were having, all these other sample sizes of better foods, higher quality foods, that spaghetti no longer looks as good as it once was. That spaghetti looks a lot better to somebody that is just happy to have food. They've been, starving or whatever. They're going to appreciate that spaghetti. So the whole idea here that we talk about when women have such easy access to sleeping around is that because of hypergamy, her standards increase. So the more women sleep around, go ahead. It's your power. All it's going to do, though, is give you these insane expectations in your own mind, which you can hold out hope that you will eventually find some super Chad that will fulfill all of those expectations. But this is why, as a man, if I were to give advice to women, especially younger women, hold out. Don't sleep around. It's going to ruin your own expectations for what to expect, just like what this lady went through. Now, let's get to some of the comments. So we have the top comment here. Has anyone effed up this bad? Yes, the majority of women. Some openly admit it, others quietly know it in their head and say nothing, but they all know they effed up. Well said. I can see why it has so many upvotes. If they're humble and smart, you think they'd learn from other females who've been through it. But as we know it, every girl thinks she's special and not like the other girls. And the rules of the universe does not apply to her, and that she's the exception. Oh, and she's also a born princess and or queen, and deserves royalty treatment for existing before and after her prince king shows up from now until happily ever after. Man, it's perfectly said there, right? It's perfectly said. And this is another thing this is why it's so, interesting, right? Any women that are watching this, very few of them will understand what we are saying in this, because, again, another thing with hypergamy is solipsism. This idea that you are the center of the universe. It's a survival mechanism for women having to look out for themselves above all others for the betterment, the survival of the species. Just think about that, right? It's programmed in her that she needs to be solipsistic, needs to think about herself before anyone else in her life, so that she can survive in order to help humanity survive. That's why we talk about in the old days with the war brides, when tribes would come in, slaughter the men, they would take these new women. These women had to go, okay, you're my new husband now, and be okay with that. It's a survival mechanism, so she's able to think of herself above all others in order to survive. So that's why women have such a hard time understanding this, because they're seeing the world from a distorted view from that sense. It's just very interesting. There's no one that hates women more than other women. Why should another woman be happy if she isn't? Yeah, good point. All right. Well, anyway, I thought these were some good comments. Again, this is a pretty solid Reddit sub from what I've seen. I don't read every post that comes up, but I do check it out every once in a while, and it seems to have good advice in the comments. So again, I would recommend this to you guys, but what are your thoughts on this? Divorced Billy for Chad, now wants them good things back with Billy. Have you seen this? Has this happened to your friends, to yourself? Have you seen women in your life make this mistake and kind of jump the grass is always greener and then regret it later? Anyway, let us know your thoughts below. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.